Hey, ACT Specialist Commander King here. Now, one of the problems you might face is you're stuck on a distant planet and you need to get to a teleportation location to beam up to the ship immediately. And so you send coordinates. All right, tell me the closest coordinates I can get to. And all right, so you get some coordinates from Beijing and Barcelona and Seattle and Cairo, and these centers send you the info. But oh my God, you find out, oh no, they're all in different units, and so I don't know which one is the closest. Ugh. All right, so we've got a task to solve. Well, let's try to get them to the same unit. Now, being from the US of A, it seems that getting to miles makes sense to us, so I suggest let's convert all of these distances to miles. So looking here, I see Beijing is in M for meters, I see Barcelona in kilometers, I see Seattle 602 miles, and Cairo is in centimeters. So I'm trying to get everything to miles. Yeah, because I like miles, and I think that's a good unit to use. All right, so let's start off here. I've got 74,000. Let's do the Beijing one first. So I'm at Beijing, or sorry, I'm not at Beijing. This is the information from Beijing to get to location A to try to get off this ship. This planet, sorry. So I'm at Beijing, and the teleportation location is 74,031 meters away. Okay, well, I'm like, well, I don't know. Is that more than the one for location C that I got from Seattle? Well, let's find out. So I agree that I want to convert to miles. So I'm trying to get to miles. I'm trying to go from meters to miles. Okay, so I'm going to write a plan here. I'm starting at meters, and I'm trying to get to miles. All right. So let's work backwards to get to miles. Well, I don't see a conversion from meters to miles, but I do see one from kilometers to miles. So looks like I'm going to have to get to kilometers first. Okay. And then from meters, using the metric, because they share the metric unit, I know that I can get from meters to kilometer. All right. So let's try this out. All right. I know I need a first step is to get from meters to kilometer. So I'm going to cancel the meters. Remember, I want to cancel it, so I'm going to put the meters on the bottom. And in this step, I'm trying to get to kilometers, so I'm going to put the kilometers on the top. Well, how many meters are in a kilometer? So that's when I can look up here, and I see, all right, my base unit, that's meters, right? That's M for meters, and then I have kilometers, km, hm, dam, dm, cm, and mm for millimeters. So I'm saying, okay, I know I want kilometers, and I'm trying to figure out the relationship between kilometers and meters. So, all right. So I know kilometers are bigger than meters, and if I just start with assume I have 1 kilometer, so I'm going to assume I have one of the bigger one. I have 1 kilometer, and I say, all right, well, I need to move our 1, 2, 3 spaces here to meters. That means in 1 kilometer or kilometer, I have 1. And I jumped 1, 2, 3 times 1,000 meters. Now let's see. A meter sticks about this long. A kilometer I know is really long. So does it make sense? In 1 kilometer there are lots of meter sticks. Yeah, that makes sense. So now I'm at kilometers here. Okay, but that's not my final goal. That's just kind of like a middle step. And now I actually want to get to miles. So I'm thinking, all right, well, to get to miles, I've got to cancel the kilometers, so I'm going to put the kilometers in the bottom, so they'll cancel. I'm going to cancel my meters. And I'm thinking, all right, I want to get to miles, so I'm going to put miles on the top here. All right. And now, luckily for me, I've got my conversion right here, 0.621 miles in 1 kilometer. I'm going to put the 1 with the kilometer, the 0.621 with the miles. And now I'm ready to calculate. So I'm going to take my handy dandy calculator, 74031 times 1. 74031 times 1. I'm multiplying just across the top. I can times 1 and then times 0.621, and then I'm going to divide by whatever's in the bottom, which seems to be 1,000, and also divided by 1. So I'm dividing by these, and it seems to give me 45.97 miles. Sorry, that's really sloppy. 45.97 miles. Okay, so I know this one is closer than Seattle. So great, I can kind of cross Seattle off because I know, hey, this one's closer. All right, great. Now, all right, I'm running out of time. The aliens are going to get me if I don't figure this out too. So let's go to Barcelona. Barcelona with kilometers. So I know I'm starting with 345 kilometers, and I'm trying to get to miles. Okay, so I'm thinking, all right, I need to get to miles. I'm starting with kilometers. Do I have a direct conversion? Oh, right, I do, right? Because I know in 1 kilometer there is 0.621 miles. So I have, this one seems easier. I just have one step. I can go from directly from kilometers to miles. Again, I want to, ooh, that was bad. Let's make this an equal sign. I want to put kilometers on the bottom. I'm trying to get to miles. And now I'm thinking, all right, so in 1 kilometer, there are 0.621 miles. All right, so it's in 345 times 0.621. And that gives me 214.245 miles. With sig fig, so I guess 214 or even 210 miles. No, 214 miles. Sorry, 214 miles. And so I can cross that off too, because I know 214 miles, that's further away than location A. So it looks like location A is winning so far. The only thing I've got to check now is, can location D, which is the data from Cairo, be closer? All right, so I'm almost going to make my great escape. Oh man, I've got 5.05 times 10 to the 8th centimeters, an enormous amount of centimeters. And I'm trying to get to miles so I can compare. So I'm going to write out my plan again. I'm at centimeters. I'm trying to get to miles. I've kind of learned that the only way I can get to miles is through kilometers on here. So I'm going to go to kilometers. And with centimeters is on the scale, so I can use centimeters, kilometers. All right, so let's do the first step, centimeters to kilometers. Again, I'm trying to go from centimeters to kilometers, so I want to cancel my centimeters to go to kilometers. So that's going to cancel out because I want to get to kilometers. And now I'm thinking, all right, which one's bigger? Okay, kilometer is the bigger unit. So I'm going to start with 1 kilometer and 1 huge kilometer, and a centimeter is tiny. So I know there's going to be a lot of centimeters in there. So I'm just going to make my jumps. I need to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So in 1 kilometer, there are 100,000 centimeters. Seems to make sense. Yeah, okay. So that's good. Whoa, all right. Great. So now I need to do one final conversion from kilometers to miles, and I've done that for all these previous steps, so it should be no different here. I want to cancel my kilometers, put it on the bottom, going to miles. In 1 kilometer, there are 0.621 miles. And so now all that's left is to do the calculation, and if I were to do that, 5.05 times 10 to the 8th times 1 times 0.621, just multiplying across the top, divided by 100,000, gives me 3,140 miles or so. And so that's really far as well. So again, I calculated 214, 3140, or 45.97. Obviously, this one's closest. So Wally and I here are going to jet to location A and get beamed out of here. King out.